First of all, I forgot to go to the latrine before I got in the damn plane. So I had a bladder problem. It's a 4-hour flight. What happens is your buddy in the tug takes off, gets you up to a certain area, and then they form what they call sticks, certain number of gliders in a stick. And they go up, and gradually they form up until you have what is known as Armada. And then you head east, across the Channel, across Belgium. And when we got to Belgium, we were usually flying at about 1,500 feet. When we got into Belgium, I don't know why, but suddenly my tow plane went down to 1,000 feet. Well, all I can do is follow. It's what we call the follow the angle of the dangle, and that's the dangle of the position of the tow rope. And you learn a certain position, and you keep that tow rope in that position, and you're all right. If that changes anyway, you're in trouble. So we're going along, and I'm looking down. People are shooting at me, and not a whole lot I can do except just stay level and follow and watch for the green light. At about, I don't know, 2 or 3 o'clock, why I'm watching, and all once I look up and there's that green light. So you have to turn loose real quick, because if you don't turn loose, the pilot turns loose, and if he turns loose, that rope snaps right back in, and you're dead, because that rope snaps right back, and if it does come into the pilot's, it hits a wing and rips a wing off. So I did, and then the next thing you have to do is you immediately go into a steep dive. I'm at 1,000 feet. You go into a steep dive to down probably around 400, 500 feet to get up speed, and so that you can stay aloft. So I did that. Not much time to look at anything. The reconnaissance people told us before we took off, said, you don't have to worry, because where you're going to land is open, and there are trees, but they're not very tall. Well, when I pulled out, I'm looking ahead, and I'm seeing 90-foot trees toward the German border. I found out later it was the German border. And I thought, what? I can't get between those trees. So, looking for a way through, and there ain't there. So I end up going into the trees at about 50, I'd say less than 100 feet. And I lost my left wing. And I woke up 18 weeks later in a hospital. Yeah. I woke up 18 weeks. I couldn't see very well. I had a bandage around my head. I was told that I had a concussion, and my right leg was in a plaster of Paris boot. And I was somewhere in France. So the nurse comes around and says, "Oh, Sergeant, I see you're awake." Where am I? You're in Lyon, France. Well, what am I doing here? And she said, we don't know, except you have been brought in by an air plane, and you're going to be released shortly and be reassigned. I said, my outfit is back in England. She said, "Sergeant, there's nothing going toward England. the war is almost over. This is January of 45, late 45. So I say, I've got to get back. I said, all my stuff is in London. My outfit is in London. I need to get back. They said, they are starting to wind down the war. And you've got a problem. You've got osteomyelitis in your right ankle. The bones are not melting. So we are shipping you down to Tripoli, which is hot and dry. I don't want to go to Tripoli. I want to get back to my outfit. And they said, we have orders to close this hospital down, and you are being transferred along with others down to Tripoli. So I go to Tripoli. I'm a pilot, so I get a job as a liaison or service pilot, flying short trips and whatnot. Boring. All the time I'm trying to figure, how do I get back? Nobody ever heard of the 1st Allied Airborne Army. Nobody ever heard of the Glider organization. So I guess my glider days are over.